Well, hello and welcome to Speed Feed. This is where we talk about the latest in news and trending topics. My name is Kimani Mbugua and we are doing this live. So let's get interactive as we continue to explore the news and stories that you need to know today and trending topics that we should definitely talk about. Don't want to waste your time. Follow me here on the feed. Let's start by talking about probably the biggest news story today. It's about Jubilee Vice Chair David Murathe, who admitted in an affidavit to Parliament's Public Investments Committee that he was a signatory to bank accounts of Kilig Limited, a company that got a 4 billion tender from Kemsa to supply PPEs. And the MPs were also furious because Murathe and two other directors of the company had been summoned to appear before the committee, but they sent affidavits instead, which the MP said was not enough. And that's why it's the biggest story right now and it's trending on Twitter. Everybody's talking about it. Now, at the same time, I want to talk about this one. During the Chief Justice interviews from yesterday, it's a good moment because you noticed that the candidate was referred to as Professor Dr. Moni Wekesa. And in case you didn't know this, it was not a typo or a mistake. You have to refer to him with both doctors because he has 2 PhDs and he said he picked up that culture from his alma mater in Central Europe. Interesting. Now, more news on the Speed Feed today that are happening. The UDA party, Chama Cha Wilbaro, they wrote to the Registrar of Political Parties saying that they will undertake an appropriate arbitration process to address concerns raised by Jubilee Party. So Jubilee had threatened to end a coalition agreement it had made with PDR, that is the outfit that was rebranded to UDA, and Jubilee wanted to cut ties with them because they say that all the directors and officials of the PDR party were changed when it rebranded to UDA. So they say they no longer want to be in a coalition with them, but UDA wants dialogue to address these issues. Moving on, handshake MPs are alleging that there is a serious plot to sabotage the BBI process, and they just gave a press conference just an hour ago. And this is after it emerged that only 13 out of the 47 counties passed the correct BBI bill. And they say that also Parliament had received different versions of the bill. They said that it is true that some counties received a BBI bill that had a lot of typos, So they passed an entirely different document altogether. But in the same breath, IEBC has responded to allegations that it was responsible for the mix-up in the documents sent to counties. They sent out a letter stating that they received 57 copies of the BBI document from the BBI promoters, and they sent out 47 of those copies to the counties, and they basically shifted the blame to the BBI team, saying if there was any mix-up, it came from them and not from the IEBC. Enough about the BBI. Let's talk about the JSC, because they have been on the spotlight in the media for the last 2 weeks, and today they did their last interview. But meanwhile, they have appealed a ruling made by the High Court that was to stop them from discussing and deliberating on who's going to be the next Chief Justice after the interviews. The High Court had ruled on Wednesday the JSC should not go on with the process of picking the CJ after the interviews were done because petitions had been filed contesting the legality of some of the JSC commissioners sitting in the commission. And one of those commissioners who had a petition against them is Professor Olive Baganda. And Tourism CS Najib Balala says the country is working with International Air Transport Association to develop a vaccine passport for Kenyans traveling outside the country from next year. Kenyans will be required to be vaccinated before getting out of the country, just like the way you get your yellow fever vaccine card. And in other stories, the Ministry of Public Service and Gender has raised alarm over the rising cases of gender-based violence in the country, noting that cases of GBV increased by 92% between January and June 2020. And they also announced a free toll number to report GBV cases. The toll-free number is 1195. This one is for all Safaricom subscribers. Safaricom has given a notice to subscribers citing that an upgrade exercise will affect some of its services from Saturday 24th, that's tomorrow, from 10 p.m. to Sunday 25th at 9 a.m. So SIM swap, all airtime top-up, tariff migration and activation of new lines will be unavailable during the period, which will last for 11 hours. All other services, including data, M-Pesa and SMS, will not be affected. And now, In case you're worried about your data being used or being disclosed or being used improperly by people who collect your data, the Data Commissioner has issued new regulations that require all institutions and premises with CCTVs to safeguard personal data, and any breaches will attract fines under the Data Protection Act. And the regulations also require institutions such as banks, betting firms, taxi hailing apps, and all others who collect data to obtain data certifications from as data controllers and processors, which means they will be responsible and they will be held liable if there is a data breach. And President Uhuru, I know you guys are tweeting photos of him, and yeah, he was looking a bit different. But he's back in the country from DRC. He flew in last night after a 3-day tour of the Congo, where he was driven in Cadillacs and treated to a royal party. But meanwhile, when he's back in the country, things are not looking so good, because while he was away, the High Court declared that some of his cabinet secretaries are in office illegally, and the CAS positions, the Chief Administrative Secretary's posts, which he created in 2018, were also declared unconstitutional. So that seems to be his first order of business now that he's back in the country. And this one is funny because Kenyans are a special breed, guys, I tell you. So yesterday, the IMF was doing a live stream on its Facebook page, which was hosted by its managing director, Kristalina Ivanova. And Kenyans went to protest in the comment section with the hashtag #StopLoaningKenya, protesting the recent IMF loan that was given to Kenya of 250 billion. So there were so many comments. If you go through that stream right now, you would think they were talking about Kenya. The live stream was about something else totally different. They were talking about Earth Day, but Kenyans did not care. They went on and flooded the comment section. In fact, you go through it, you're not gonna see, it's gonna be hard for you to see any other thing. And it's quite funny. But is it gonna work as we protest to the IMF? Is it going to work? Maybe, maybe not. But, so this last one, I just had to put it here because of the fact that of late, we have seen a lot of leaders go to Raila's house and gift him with goats. But he tweeted this picture yesterday, not receiving goats, obviously, but he got sneakers anyway. He got sneakers from 2 young men. And for some reason, this tweet has so many reactions and comments. That's the reason why I put it here, because so many people reacted to this picture and all the comments are varied. It's all one thing. People are reacting to Baba because in one of the pictures he's being helped to wear the sneakers, and Kenyans are a funny breed, I tell you. But at least in this one, he said not receiving a goat. What's the reason behind leaders giving him a goat? I get, like, why a goat? You could give him a dog, maybe for security. Other animals like a cow for milk. A goat? Are they trying to say he is the goat? I don't know. You let me know. All right? That's where we end Speed Feed today. There's some of the stories and news that are happening around you that you need to know. Let me read your comments before I wind up and leave you guys because it's Friday and I don't want to take much of your time. I just want you to know what's happening, and then we can move on to other things during the day. It's Friday and I want you guys to get home after the coffee, all right? Just read 2 comments on Facebook. I already said Jubilee versus UDA is growing up version of Tom and Jerry. MCAs were voting for the car bill. They did not care whether they were passing the BBI or inside the magazine. Quite funny. But that is what's happening around you. Thank you so much for watching Speed Feed today. My name is Kimani Mbugua. We'll see you again on Monday on episode 19. Goodbye.